Welcome back to Conversation to Close. This is Sean, and here's a quick video on what the standard operating procedure or SOPs are for creative deals. This is going to work for 99% of the deals that you do, whether they're single family, duplex, all the way up to apartments. Doesn't matter. First things first, you're never going to give more than 10% of the purchase price as a down payment to the seller. Ideally, you want it as low as possible, and here's why. When you go to disposition the deal, once you have it under contract, you're looking to sell that deal for anywhere between 12 to 15% to your end buyer or your investor. With that being said, if you get it under contract for 10% down, your max spread is 2 to 5%. If you get it under contract for 5% down, then your max spread is 7 to 10%. So obviously the lower the better. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to interest rates, don't go higher than 5%. Some people will say don't go higher than 4%. I'm saying don't go higher than 5%. Or more importantly, make sure that whatever percentage you use, obviously you want to keep it lower than today's current rates, but whatever percentage you use, you make sure that payment and that cash on cash return still work for the end buyer. Otherwise, it's not a deal that's going to move. Third thing, balloons. When it comes to balloons, which is different than amortization, don't forget that. You amortize it for 30 years. That means the payments are stretched out for 30 years. A balloon just means we're going to pay off the balance in that balloon time frame. Never go less than 7 years. Ideally, you want no balloon, but if you're like me, I don't like to make people wait for their money unnecessarily. So I do a 10-year balloon most of the time. But you'd never want to go less than 7. The deal's not going to move. I mean, there are some cases where it will if you have a lower priced asset, sub $100,000, but still it's not going to make the deal very attractive. And then the last thing is your cash on cash return. So if your cash on cash return for a long-term rental comes out to be 10% or higher, that's a good deal. If your cash on cash return comes out to be 12% or higher on a short-term rental, that's a good deal. You really don't want to go any less than those two percentages when you're calculating your cash on cash return. So just to recap, no more than 10% down of the purchase price for the down payment, no higher than 5% if you're going to allow interest. Ideally, we want no interest. No less than a 7-year balloon. Most investors will want no balloon, but you can probably get away with 10 as a minimum, but never go less than 7. And do not let your cash on cash return dip between 10% and 12% for your long-term and short-term rentals respectively. I hope that answers your question. If you have any other questions, leave them below. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.